It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. You know what? We have a great show for all of you guys. But I just want to mention, if this is your very first time tuning into the Divas That Care, a huge welcome to you. We're so excited that you've joined us today. The Divas That Care is now in its 11th season. We are listened to in over 30 countries around the world, and it's because of all of our amazing listeners that we've continued to do this. You share, you like, you comment on our programs, and we really appreciate that. So it's always great to welcome the new ones to our family. All right, as I said, we have a great show for you. I'm going to be actually having our monthly guest back. Her name is Brianna Kuhn, and she is going to be sharing some amazing tips with all of you guys. So welcome back, Brianna. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Hello. I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here again.
Well, I'm excited to have you back because you know what? You always share so many amazing things with all of us. But before we get started in that, Brianna, would you mind introducing yourself to our new listeners today?
Of course. Well, like you said, my name is Brianna, and I am the owner of Limitless Impact Virtual Management, and I am a virtual business consultant and social media strategist. So I help all kinds of businesses, small, medium, large, all kinds of industries with the day-to-day tasks that they find overwhelming and reduce stress for them as an entrepreneur.
I love it because that's exactly what it is. You know, there is so much out there in regards to social media and the things that we do for our businesses. And sometimes it's quite overwhelming. And what you do is you really help people navigate through those, I would say, those shark-infested waters, because sometimes it feels like it's so overwhelming we don't know what to do.
Exactly. You know, and I wanted to talk today about digital marketing because I've realized as of late, a lot of people have, I guess, a misconception of what digital marketing actually is, and that there's so much more to it than just social media.
I love that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about that. What exactly is digital marketing for, you know, our listeners out there?
Well, in simple words, digital marketing is any form of marketing that occurs online with the help of mobile, laptop, internet, etc. You know, it's not just social media. There's so many different prongs to how you can market yourself on a digital platform of any kind. And, you know, before, you know, I kind of jump into that, I want to talk about how marketing has changed over the years. You know, 100 years ago, it used to be enough just to take out an ad in a daily newspaper in order to increase your visibility and spread the word about your business. 50 years ago, it used to be enough just to publish, you know, a crappy TV commercial. 10 years ago, even, it used to be just enough for companies to, you know, create a cheap website, sprinkle in a few keywords, and call it good. But, you know, over the last 5 years even, it's changed so much and has completely launched us out of, you know, TV spots, print ads, you know, and we're in the age of apps, social media, Google, SEO. We're, in essence, in the age of digital. And we're in a time, you know, where we have 24/7 connectivity, where, you know, 80% of people own a smartphone and spend around 8 hours a day on average online, whether it's on their computer, on their phone. And as a result, it's a must-have to have a strong digital marketing strategy that allows your customers to find you in the digital realm, and that follows them through their entire online sales cycle.
All right. And, we've heard a lot, Brianna, in the last little while on, different social media platforms that, they've been changing a lot of things. And so I know we're talking about the digital market. How important is it to be very diverse in marketing yourself out there?
Well, let's use this as an example. Everyone knows when Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp decided to crash for a day, and a lot of people were left high and dry. I mean, for myself, I was working with a client that we were launching some paid advertising that day, and we were scrambling because we didn't know if it was going out. We had no way to get onto Facebook or Instagram to see any of the activity. And that was kind of worrisome. And, it brings into the fact that social media isn't the only way that you can market your business online. And it's really important to have the other aspects of your digital marketing strategy to be really strong as well. So one of the ways you can do that is through email marketing. So the concept of email marketing is really simple. You send a promotional message and hope your prospect clicks on it. Email marketing is proven to be really, really effective. And, there's data out there that says 89% of surveyed professionals name it as their most effective lead generator. So, having a really strong CRM system so that you can capture the people that are interested in your product or service, potentially can be repeat buyers, and then you can continuously advertise to them and stay top of mind. The other aspect
I want to ask you, I want to ask you a little bit about that, Brianna, because, we used to be told that, email marketing is no longer a good way to do it, but now you're saying, email marketing is a great way to do it. So question that I have is, what type of a system, what do you mean by email marketing? Because I know a lot of our listeners will be like, I don't understand. What does she mean by getting out there and doing email marketing?
So one of the top platforms that I find that entrepreneurs typically start with is MailChimp. But there's a ton of different options out there. You really got to find the one that you find is the most user-friendly for yourself, that is easy to use, quick to use. You're able to store all of that data of your audience that you're sending to. But the other component of email marketing is really the content of it. For myself even, I probably get anywhere from 20, I won't say spam emails, but marketing emails in my inbox every morning from stores and other entrepreneurs that I've subscribed to over the years. And sure, I don't read them all, but if there's a catching subject line or the preview of the email where it kind of catches my attention, I will open it and I will read it. So that's the important part about email marketing, is the actual content. You want to have that hook in your subject line to cause the person to actually click it open and read it and potentially click the link that's referring them back to your website or referring them back to your product. And in essence, it's a call to action.
I like that. And it doesn't come from your direct email, because I think that's what a lot of people are thinking. Well, what do you mean I have to send an individual email out each time? But no, there's actually systems out there that you can do that, and it's all set up, and you just have to work on that. Is this something that you help a lot of your customers? Is this something that, if our listeners are listening to you right now, can you help them with this?
Yes, and this is something that I find in the beginning, a lot of entrepreneurs, and business owners, they kind of struggle with it, or they don't really see the point for their specific product or service. But honestly, it works for any industry, any business, any product, any service. It's just about the content that you push out to the people who are on your list. And I know sometimes it can be, you can sit there and be like, well, I have no idea how to market this. I was the exact same way when I first started. But every single client that I've had or continue to have, it is always a component of their work with me is the email marketing. Whether they've already started it and they've got a really good email list and their click rate is really good, now it's just about continuing with that, or just completely starting from scratch and figuring out what the best strategy is for their email marketing.
I love that. What a great way. And I think it's not something that people talk about a lot.
No, it's really not. It's something that everyone kind of knows that you always get spam emails. And depending on the time of year, Black Friday, Christmas time, it always seems to kind of amp up around the holidays, which is pretty typical for people who are selling products and stuff like that. But you want to make sure that you are doing it year-round, because the whole reason really for email marketing is to stay top of mind for your new clients as well as your repeating clients.
Well, I think that's great, and I think that's something that our listeners should definitely check out and start doing a lot more. Okay, so what is the next part of digital marketing?
So the next part that's really important is SEO, which is search engine optimization. And basically what that is the process of improving the quality and the quantity of your website traffic, or to a certain to your website, or to a certain web page, like a landing page, for example. SEO targets unpaid traffic, which another term for is natural or organic, rather than direct traffic or paid traffic. So paid traffic would be like a pay-per-click, where like a Google ad or a Facebook ad, where you're paying for every time someone clicks on your ad to go to your website or your landing page. And there's three kind of components to SEO. And depending on your website platform that you're on, WordPress, GoDaddy, Squarespace, there's so many out there. Some of them do have built-in SEO processing that you can do, and it's really easy to follow along. But sometimes it can be really confusing and really hard. So what you have to remember is there's kind of three prongs to SEO. There's the on-page, which is using keywords in the written content on your actual page. The second one is off-page. So the way that I think about it is your web page is like a curtain. You have the show going on in front of the curtain, which is your on-page, and then you have the backstage. So that's your off-page. So that's where, you're putting in those direct keywords or those lengthy keywords that you can't really formulate into the written content on your actual page. And that's going to be doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So when someone's typing into Google, for example, say for me, they're looking for virtual assistant Edmonton or virtual assistant Alberta. I have those keywords on my page, behind my page, so that it's a double hit. So I'm more likely to come up as a result on Google, and it increases my visibility. The third prong of SEO is hidden hat, and it's kind of an abbreviation, but basically it's using, and this is where this part can kind of get confusing for some people, but if you have the off-page and the on-page, you're usually pretty good. But if you're finding that your website traffic isn't where you want it, that's when you're going to want to get help with this hidden hat stuff. And this has to come in with some HTML coding, and it can get a little bit complicated for someone who just has basic computer knowledge. But this is where I can help. And then the other aspect is if you're wanting to even boost your SEO further, that's when you're going to want to bring in paid advertising like Google Ads.
I love it. A lot of people would be like, oh my goodness, this is so overwhelming. But that's exactly why, there's people like yourself, virtual business consultants and social media strategists, because a lot of us were thinking, oh my goodness, what does she mean by all of this? It's overwhelming. And, to run a business, we need to surround ourselves with people like you.
Well, and that's something that I completely understand. we're not all experts in every single aspect of running a business, and that is okay. It's okay to be the expert in what you're doing, what you're selling, your product, but you don't have to be advanced in all of these other things. You can talk to someone like me or hire someone like me who is an expert in these things to help you with those aspects of your business so that you can bring your business to a new level, because that's what's important. And the whole premise of my business is let me work in your business so that you can work on your business.
I love that. That is very strong.
Yeah, and, there's so many aspects, especially with the digital marketing and just the digital realm. When we came into the beginning of 2020, when the pandemic hit, a lot of those brick and mortar businesses were left high and dry. They had to close their storefront. They didn't have a strong website presence because they had those people coming through the door, and they didn't really have to worry about it too much. But then they had to completely pivot, and it was extremely overwhelming for a lot of people. But I've found that because of this, more businesses have been able to actually expand and grow because they've been able to cater to that digital marketing strategy and that digital realm to approach and capture a whole different audience that is interested in their business.
That's amazing. I love it. And things are changing. And we've noticed that in the last 18 months is that there's been a very big shift. And I think that people are more aware. They're wanting to learn. They're wanting to have a better understanding. And you really do teach people so much on how they can help their businesses grow.
Yeah. And, I have access to so many other people who are just like me, and they specialize in certain different things. Like I said earlier, it's okay not to be an expert. I'm an expert in a few things, but I'm okay with admitting that there's some aspects of the digital realm that I am not an expert in, but I know the people who are. So I'm able to bring those people in to assist when I'm out of my depth. So we're both, yourself as the entrepreneur and me as your virtual assistant, we're not kind of going by the seat of our pants to kind of figure it out. I'm able to bring in those people who are the experts to continue to make progress.
Oh, I love it. I love the collaborations that you're doing, and you're really connecting people that need to be together. And that's what the Divas That Care is all about anyways, is about collaborating and helping one another. And you've always done that. And that's what I love about you, Brianna, that you are able to do that. So, yeah. So I'm going to ask you, what else is there in regards to digital marketing, and, how is this going to help people in the next little while here?
Well, in Canada, the pandemic is starting to teeter out, knock on wood, but it's still there. So there's still people who are preferring to shop online, connect online, and that's okay. That honestly is going to be our new normal. And if you are unwilling or don't think it's important for your business specifically, I think it's time to really sit down and look at the benefits of creating a digital marketing strategy for your business and how it can really launch you to that next level. And honestly, reach out to me. If you have questions, you want to, just ask about certain things, or, just tell me about your business and see how a digital marketing strategy can actually work for your product or service, message me on Facebook, DM me on Instagram, email me. I'm more than willing to have a conversation. I'm all about spreading education about how you can improve your business, because that's truly what my passion is.
Yes, it is, and you're doing such a great job. Okay, Brianna, what is your website for our new listeners that are checking us out today?
So my website is limitlessimpact.ca, and there is a contact form on there that you can fill out with your questions, or if you want to have a quick conversation about your business and how, what are the next steps you should do, fill out that form, and then we can get that conversation started.
Excellent. And last question I have for you today is, what is next with you? What is new and exciting? Anything you want to share with us?
Well, it's been a very busy few months. I co-authored a book, and it is released now as a digital copy as well as a paperback. You can get that on Amazon and Apple Books. It is called The Female Entrepreneur's Playbook. I also collaborated with 4 other entrepreneurs who are in the marketing and business coaching realm, and we have an offer going on right now to work with us. So you just have to go to my Facebook page, which is Limitless Impact Virtual Management, if you want to check that out. But otherwise, it's starting to slow down a little bit just before the holidays. It's a very busy summer, so I'm just going with the flow.
Completely understand. That's wonderful. Well, Brianna, I had such a great time with you. I always look forward to our monthly shows, so I'm looking forward to having you back next month.
Thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure. I love educating your audience and just spreading the knowledge of everything that I've learned in my career as well as running my business.
Oh, that's perfect. And to all of our listeners, we will be posting all of Brianna's information on our Facebook page, on all of our social media, on our website, so that you have access to that. Again, thank you to my amazing guest, Brianna Hoon, and thank you to all of our listeners. I hope that you do something kind for somebody. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.